Donald Trump hopes Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are happy, even if he's not invited to wedding. Donald Trump has said he hopes Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are happy even if he does not receive an invite to their wedding. The US president also told how his late mother loved the Queen and the UK in an interview with Piers Morgan, to be broadcast on Sunday night. Mr. Trump revealed that he sometimes tweets from bed, and he suggested the U.S. could return to the Paris Climate Accord if a better deal was struck. The issue of whether Mr. Trump would be invited to the royal wedding on May 19th has become controversial due to the prince's friendship with Barack and Michelle Obama, and Ms. Markle has been highly critical of Mr. Trump, once suggesting she would leave the U.S. for Canada if he was elected president. When asked if he had received an invitation, Mr. Trump said, "Not that I know of." He declined to address whether he would like to go, instead saying, "I want them to be happy. I really want them to be happy. They look like a lovely couple." When Mr. Morgan reminded him that Ms. Markle had called him a divisive misogynist, the president replied, "Well, I still hope they're happy." Mr. Trump went on to say that his own mother had a great sense of regal. He added, "She had a love for the Queen. She had a love for the royal family. She really respected the Queen, and she loved the pomp and ceremony. The fact is, she loved the UK." Mr. Trump accepted an invitation made by Theresa May a year ago for a state visit to the UK, but no date had yet been fixed. Following their recent meeting at the World Economic Forum in Davos, officials said Mr. Trump would go to the UK in the second half of this year, although it may be a lower-key working trip rather than a full state occasion. The president was asked if his late mother Mary Ann MacLeod, who was born on the Isle of Lewis, would have loved him to receive a state visit. He said, "Well, she would go back every year to Scotland. She just thought it was incredible. She came over to the United States when she was 19. She met my father. They got married. They were married for many, many decades, and they had a great marriage. You know, she was a terrific woman, and she loved Scotland, and maybe that's one of the reasons that I feel the same way about it." Mr. Trump also appeared to criticize Mrs. May's handling of the Brexit negotiations, saying he would have had a different attitude and taken a tougher stand in getting out. In extracts released to the Mail on Sunday, Mr. Trump said the European Union was not cracked up to what it's supposed to be and claimed he was unsurprised by the result of the Brexit referendum because Britons don't want people coming from all over the world into Britain. Quizzed about his social media habits, Mr. Trump said that he sends his own messages on Twitter, although I'll sometimes just dictate out something really quickly, and I'll give it to one of my people to put it on. Mr. Morgan asked, "Are you actually lying in bed with your phone, working out how to wind everybody up?" Mr. Trump replied, "Well, perhaps sometimes in bed, and perhaps sometimes at breakfast, or lunch, or whatever." The president, who once described climate change as a hoax perpetrated by China, withdrew the U.S. from the 2015 Paris Climate Accord in June, saying its demand to curb greenhouse gas emissions was damaging to the U.S. economy. Asked if he believed in climate change, Mr. Trump was equivocal. He said, "There is a cooling, and there's a heating. I mean, look, it used to not be climate change. It used to be global warming. That wasn't working too well because it was getting too cold all over the place. The ice caps were going to melt. They were going to be gone by now. But now they're setting records. They're at a record level." He added, "I believe in clean air. I believe in crystal clear, beautiful. I believe in just having good cleanliness and all." Mr. Trump said there was always a chance he could return the U.S. to the climate accord, but it would have to be a completely different deal because we had a horrible deal. As usual, they took advantage of the United States.